Hi everyone, alongside Mike Trossel, I'm Dave Giancola. We're back again for another U.S. Open Classic finish. The 100th U.S. Open was played at one of the country's most iconic courses, the incomparable Pebble Beach Golf Links. It was Jack Nicklaus's 44th and final U.S. Open appearance, one that represented a passing of the torch, if you will, from the 18-time major winner to the only player who seemingly had a chance to catch him, and that's Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Dave, the 2000 U.S. Open was simply a display of dominance by Tiger. He led from start to finish, and really the only drama was seeing how many scoring records he'd break by the end of it.
It was domination, and we'll join Tiger on the 10th hole as he looks to post a bogey-free final round in one of the most dominant performances in golf history.
This is a great driving exhibition, John.
Well, a U.S. Open Championship clinic continues for the #1 player in the world, Tiger Woods. Seems it's just a matter of time. Sun is out in full force along the Monterey Peninsula now. Why wouldn't it be Sunday in the 100th U.S. Open, where the spotlight expected to be on Tiger Woods in a couple of hours from now to the 10th.
Par putt for Padraig Harrington. A lengthy birdie putt from up above the hole, left it well short, and that will be a bogey 5 to 13.
Nick Faldo for a birdie on 13. We have not seen many of these. Nick on the last hole missed a putt and banged his head with his putter and then made like he had knocked himself out. He's trying to have some fun. And back to 12, Lee Westwood for birdie. I should mention we've only seen one birdie all day. And back to 10.
Second shot, Ernie Els.
This from 153, cutting right at the flagstick.
Oh, what a beautiful shot. That is easily the best shot we've seen today. Third shot. Front right hole location. A lot of history at this hole. It was here in '72 that Nicklaus hit it in the hazard twice in the final round. Survived a double bogey 6 on the way to his win. And of course in '82, Watson hit it down in the hazard, hacked it out on the green, and made a 25-footer for par. Tiger's second.
That's from 125, just 115 to the front edge. Just kind of a flick of a wedge for him. Misses well left of the hole toward the center of the green.
What an advantage, though, to be able to play a wedge second shot to a 446-yard par forward.
And not much of one at that.
Thank you, Robert. Well, we talked about the history here at the 10th. It has certainly played a large part in determining the champions in '72 and '82. Tom Kite survived the hole with a par in his final round in '92, and back then in that fateful day, it was the most difficult hole on the golf course. The stroke average was 4.89. And a nice message from those out on the beach. Happy Father's Day. And another message. Simply Tiger. Yesterday it was Go Tiger. I guess they feel like they don't need to help him too much today. Well, these beautiful aerial shots are being provided by MetLife. And what a spectacular sight looking down from above. And let's take a look at all the scores in the field. Pick out your favorite player and see how he's doing. Scoring much better today. Conditions rather benign. And ahead to the 12th.
Olazabal. Today, the 12th hole, playing 205 yards. The wind left to right into the players slightly. Hole location on the left center of the green. Ball just will not stay on the green when it lands just on the backside of the bunker. You can appreciate how good a shot that is. To 18.
And a nice walk up for the local boy, Bobby Clampett. Played with tears in his eyes in that opening round when he shot that 68.
Yeah, it's been a long time since people were screaming, Bobby, Bobby. But they must have had some problems out there because they're half an hour behind the group ahead of them.
Back out to the 10th.
Tiger Woods taking a look at this putt for birdie. Roger, tell us about it.
Well, downhill from about 18 feet. It'll be a quick putt. May try to move a little right. I don't think there's a lot of break in this putt from this angle. Pretty much down the fall line of the green. This looks good here.
Yes, sir. Tiger Woods to 9 under par, and the par string is broken.
Well, he's now at 9 under as we look at the lowest winning scores to par in a U.S. Open. No one's been lower. In fact, only Gil Morgan has reached double digits under par, and it came in the 92 championship staged here at Pebble Beach. He got it to high as 12 under before fading in that championship. So will Tiger Woods become just the second man in an Open to reach double digits under par?
Els now with his putt for a birdie.
Yeah, this putt can move quickly to the left if not hit firmly enough.
Good stroke. Ernie Els back-to-back birdies, but it's perhaps a little too late. With Tiger Woods making his first of the day, he moves to 9 under par. Now has a 10-stroke lead. We'll be right back with more coverage in a moment.
Just sounds so strange to say it in a U.S. Open, but a 10-shot lead for the leader as he stares down the fairway at the par 4 11th.
And there's no let up. I tell you, he's acting like he's level with Ernie Els. I mean, you never know the difference. There's that little stinger shot where he hits that rifle shot punch.
And again in good shape. Well, if you just joined us, wondering what happened on the front nine of this final Sunday in the 100th U.S. Open, Padraig Harrington got up to a good start. The young man from Ireland. This was his second shot at the opening hole.
Beautiful iron shot. You can see here, going right at it.
Beautiful shot. He would birdie that to go to +2, so they were scoring some birdies ahead of Tiger Woods.
A moment ago.
And Menace birdie to go to +2 also at the opening hole, so it looked like there would be a pair of international golfers putting a charge on Tiger Woods. Olazabal, his third shot at the second.
Blading a sand wedge out of that rough.
The touch we talked about goes to +3, and then Tiger Woods very sharp in the early going, drove it down the fairway. Second shot to this point on the opening hole.
Hit a good putt, a wiggle left.
Missed the birdie. Tiger had a lot of birdie opportunities early. At the second, the long par 4 for birdie.
Beautiful stroke here. It looks like it's going to turn right into the center of the hole, and it just flattened out.
Also had a birdie opportunity at the third, a hole where he tripled yesterday.
A little slower than it looks, this putt, and he just right on line.
That one he thought he had. Then at the par 5 sixth, we've seen just a variety of different shots played by Tiger Woods this week.
After a nuclear drive, watch what happens here. Carefully watch this ball. He's pushed it to the right. Watch by the bunker, and now it's in stuff that's 12 inches deep.
Which prompted him to see if he could do something Tiger-esque. His fourth shot, though, now. Calmly got it there. He would make par, so 5 was a very good score with the condition that Tiger was in at the 6th. Then he laid it back in the fairway at the par 4 8th, a little bit farther back there from the cliffs that he would have liked. And this second shot, Johnny, was 225 yards.
It's a 6-iron downhill. He just kills it. It's going right at the pin, and it takes a very soft top that looked like it was going to be stiff. But he 2-putts that for a par. He pars 9, and then here on 10, he hits a good wedge in there, left of the hole safely, and makes that putt for birdie, finally to break the par string and get to 9 under.
And it's not premature at all to start the coronation for Tiger Woods with his huge lead, Johnny, on the back 9. If he wins today, of course, he will need only the British Open victory to complete a career Grand Slam. Jack Nicklaus was 26 years old when he accomplished that feat, but at just 24 years old, Tiger Woods has continued to go into uncharted territory. By the time this Open's finished, you're going to see a lot of records, and we're going to compile them for you. But it's just amazing stuff. There's winning the 4 majors, Jack, at age 22. And when he won the Open, and then he won his second at age 23, the third also the same age, in the same year, the PGA. And then when he amassed the Grand Slam was 26 years old. And there is the comparative list for Tiger Woods. And it's no secret that as a youngster, Tiger Woods would put things in his room, clippings and numbers that Jack Nicklaus had achieved. And when he talked about it as a young teenager, a lot of people thought he was crazy.
Yeah, well,
and now he's out there proving it.
Yeah, well, it shows what you can do if you really work at it and you got the ability. But in St. Andrews, to be honest with you, might be the easiest course for his game of them all. And so he could very well get all 4 legs of the Grand Slam by 24.
Okay, back out to the 11th and the second shot. Roger. Well, we'll check in with Roger in a little while, but we know that Tiger hit another one right in the middle of the fairway, and you see the yardage left.
He's got a good position here. You want to keep the ball probably underneath the hole to the left just slightly. Hole location is just 10 on and 5 from the right, so left is definitely good. Don't want to be hitting it right and burying that lip. Took a real gougy divot on that one. Got another good hop off that bunker, which he did in the first round. So perfect leave underneath the hole. Ho hum.
Well, let's go to the 18th. And Bobby Clampett. This is a birdie attempt.
Very popular putting spot. Down the hill, breaking right, going towards the hole. Oh, top lip doesn't go.
A lot of history here for Clampett.
And he wanted that one. He wanted to make that birdie, make everybody hoot and holler, all the hometown fans. And I think he's probably going to mark this. Well, no, he isn't.
Two-time California State Amateur champion here at Pebble. Tied for 3rd back in that 82 Open. Of course, the limelight all on the duel with Tom and Jack. Second shot at 11 for Ernie Els from 133.
I'll tell you, got to hand it to him. He really played poorly through 6 holes, and then, geez, 7, 8, and 9, he played 1 under, then birdie 10, and now got another, well, remote chance for another birdie. So it's a good comeback for Els. He's back to level for the day, which is 2 over for the championship.
But it's going to be too little, too late.
It is, but you know, like we said going in, they almost had to have 2 trophies. You have a Tigers trophy. We already engraved that one, and then the rest of the guys are battling it out.
They have a pretty good championship competitively without Mr. Woods sitting out there with a 10-shot lead. Well, it's been a more competitive NBA Finals, that's for sure. Game 6 coming your way as this series continues to get more interesting by the game. Pacers and the Lakers. Lakers trying to close it out, win their first NBA title since 1988. To the tee at 12.
Where Padraig Harrington preparing to play. Club selection, a 4-iron.
This one needs to get up, Murph.
That wind is sneaking back into them. Seen a lot of balls in that front bunker. There you see it. The lie appears to be pretty good, on the upslope, which helps you for that bunker shot. Over to 18.
Third shot for Justin Leonard.
Just right at the bend there, just close to the 100-yard marker. It's his 4th shot. He's had problems. He's hitting a good one there. See if it spins. It does not. Leaves himself that downhill slider. So struggling a little bit here at 18.
A long time since Justin Leonard has won as well, but he seems to be showing some signs of climbing out of that slump he's been in. It's been over 2 years since that '98 Players Championship win.
I tell you, it doesn't take much of a hiccup in your game, whether putting or whatever. Any little slip up and you're not going to be winning out there. There's only a few players in modern day golf that could actually play, as Tiger Woods said, with his B game or C game and win. That shows that when you're really, really a gun, that you don't have to have everything bouncing off the bunkers and making every putt inside of 15 feet to win.
Well, I'm going to assume, Johnny, he's going to consider this his A game. If it's not, that's really scary. This putt now from about 25 feet uphill. Very slow putt, and will move a little bit to the right.
Hard to get it there. That's another putt we've seen all week, Roger. Number 8 in this green that guys just are not getting it there.
You just can't hit it hard enough on the way up, and you can't hit it easy enough on the way down.
Yep.
Well, is this a makeable birdie, Roger? Because he would become only the 2nd man in the history of the Open Championship to reach double digits under par.
Well, I think he's going to make it down. Very much on the same line as Ernie Els. He saw the putt. I mean, there's no guesswork here. He knows how it breaks.
But how long is this putt, Roger? I mean, you really feel he's going to make it. I mean, you've been feeling the powers of Tiger all week, haven't you?
Absolutely, and I truly believe he's going to hold this putt. It's about 12-footer, a little over 12 feet. A putt he can be aggressive with.
Look at how much he is into this putt, Roger. I think now I've got to believe. You said it was present tense, but I think right now he's trying to show that I'm going to blow every record out of the books.
Thinking record book now. Maybe, John.
Because obviously the other part is a done deal.
Well, all the great ones look for that edge. I mean, we saw it from Michael Jordan. I mean, it's not just enough to win, but to take on a challenge and to conquer it and to turn it into something that no one else has done.
I'm surprised at that. I really am. As slow as that putt is, John, I'm surprised he left it short.
Well, shows he does just what everybody else does sometimes.
Sometimes. Over to the 12th.
Where we have Jimenez preparing for this birdie putt. Mark Rolfing.
Not an easy putt to judge the pace, Murph. It's about 40 feet across this 12th green.
Is this a double breaker, Mark?
It's going to go a little bit right at first and then turn back left at the hole.
Got a chance. That was a wonderful putt. This 12th hole, only one birdie yesterday, and again today, one birdie. Harrington earlier from the bunker left it short, and I'm sure he was very surprised that his bunker shot stopped short. Over to 18.
And finish up with Justin Leonard. This for his par.
Dan, we haven't seen anybody make this putt yet from any distance, whether it's 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. Most of them have been short. Bobby Clampett hit a good putt. He's the only one that kept it high.
Well, he's played the golf course more than anyone out here in the field.
See if this stays up. I don't think it is. And that's sort of like, well, short and right.
So an unfortunate finish for Leonard. Bogey, bogey, bogey after a birdie at 15. 72 for the former British Open champion. 12
for Padraig Harrington's putt for par now. Oh my.
Murph, you'll be interested to know there is a large Irish contingent out here following Harrington, and they have been highly vocal.
I just can't understand why.
It's a good day for the Irish. Well, that bunker shot, I know, surprised him because he landed, in fact, on the slight downslope just over the bunker, and that, you would guess, would pitch right to the hole based on the shots the poor guys have been hitting in there and bouncing over the green every time. Minutes now for par. Maintains his hold on second place. And in this case, runner-up is not bad. And back up to the tee. It's 205 yards. The wind is left to right into the players, and I think in watching this hole, as I have been, Roger Maltby, the best place to get your direction on the wind is back in 11th fairway.
Well, that's true, Bob. Back in this corner, a little secluded where the tee box sits, protected also by spectators to the left, so you don't really feel the wind quite as accurately as you probably would down in the 11th fairway. And I think Johnny said it best yesterday, to play this hole really effectively. This is a very common wind here. A high draw into the wind, fighting the wind, will land the softest on the green. This is a 4-iron.
That's a lot of club for him, Roger.
He's hit it very high, the center of the green.
I guess he threw it up really softly, huh?
Yeah, he did. He really took a lot off of that, John.
218.
Moment ago, second shot for Notah Begay III.
You want to see a shot that Tiger would be impressed with? Check this out by Notah. It's an impossible hole location. It's tough enough with a wedge. He's going with a 3-wood.
So Begay will have an eagle try from above the hole. That is some shot. Back to his former teammate at Stanford.
Tiger set to play, Roger.
This is a 5-iron.
Think this might go high, Raj?
Real high. Just a towering shot, Johnny, at the center of the green. What a beautiful looking golf shot.
Advantage Tiger.
Boy, is it wonderful when you can hit it that high and land it on that green that softly. And I think it's very obvious that's why Mr. Woods is where he is.
Well, as you look at the recent scoring averages in the last 6 U.S. Opens, including this one at Pebble Beach, you see the scoring average through 3 rounds here at Pebble Beach. It continues the trend, Johnny. It's getting tougher and tougher to play in an Open.
You know, it's interesting. I think the USGA has got this setup down to an art form. They're doing it in a way that is fair, but it's beguiling. It's really fair, but it's tough, and the courses really are set up great. They're just uniformly great. Pinehurst had the shouldery greens that were impossible. Pebble Beach, of course, is armed with weather a couple days, and the bottom line is each one brings its own little challenge.
And without Tiger Woods, everybody would be fighting just to get back to even par.
That's
which
true.
I guess is the real goal for the Open.
You can't Tiger-proof anything right now, unless you maybe don't have any holes out there.
Yeah, make the hole smaller than ball is about the only way. This putt doesn't break a lot to the left, but it does break all the way.
One of the very few to leave that putt significantly short, and not happy with himself. Now we're going to get a chance to see how much local knowledge Tiger has, because every putt today has been to the right of the hole. The pull is to the ocean, Roger.
It is, as is usually the case here at Pebble, and the first part of the putt certainly gives the impression that it wants to move a little left, but once in the area of the hole, it'll straighten up and maybe even drift back to the right. So it's a real illusion here, Bob. You heard him say left early.
Confirming with Steve that that's what he's seeing. Always interesting how a caddy like Steve can help a player of Tiger's caliber. Usually it's on the order of confirmation of what the player is thinking, what his first idea is. And you know Tiger's had this putt many times here.
It's a tough read, isn't it, Roger, for anybody?
It really is. It's a putt that has to be remembered, John, really.
You get it outside the hole, if I remember right, that second half does not move left.
Correct. Oh, my goodness.
Double digits.
Are there any questions that Tiger knew exactly what that putt did? The second birdie today to the man on his way to win it all.
Double figures, gentlemen.
There we see the most strokes under par at any point in the U.S. Open. Gil Morgan here at Pebble in '92. And there's Tiger. Only a couple of shots behind that. And I certainly don't doubt he can make a couple more.
Well, in the next 6 holes, 5 of them are birdie holes in this kind of weather for him, Roger. So he got really through the stern test, which was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Ernie now for his par.
Pulled. Not a good stroke there.
Let's have another look at Tiger's putt here. The quizzical part is that it does break to the left in the top of the putt. You see that. But now look. Straightens out and goes right in the bottom. Wonderful, wonderful touch from another angle. Watch the gallery. Watch the crowds. They love it. Largest winning margin in the U.S. Open. Willie Smith, Jim Barnes, Willie Smith 11. That's where Tiger is right now.
That's back when there were about 11 guys in the field.
1899.
8 of his buddies, yeah.
It's amazing.
And he could beat them all.
There is the historic figure double digits under par for just the second time in an Open. As we pick up the action again at the 13th.
I think it's time to start letting the big gun go.
Want to avoid the bunkers on the right. You can play out of the bunker on the left. That looks like it's left. Well, we can see some golf ball, and that's the first drive that I recollect he's missed today.
Hit it right there in round number 1. Remember, he muscled it out on the green.
Ahead to the 13th, Jimenez for his birdie. Mark Rolfing.
Big sweeper to the right. This was a very poor second shot to play it back to here from just 130.
Forward to 18.
This on tape, you saw the beautiful 3-wood which bounced off the right rough to set up Notah Begay for eagle.
See if he can read it right. Everybody's missing it right.
And close to picking up the second eagle at 18 in Open history here at Pebble. Taps in for his par. Actually for his birdie in the round of 73 today for Begay.
Pretty consistent play right there.
Well, without Tiger on top of this leaderboard here at the U.S. Open, it looks like the Volvo Masters, 7 of the top 9 are non-Americans. With Tiger, it looks like the Deutsche Bank Open. Amazing stuff at Pebble. Well, this a moment ago. Third shot for Retief Hussain at the par 5 18th. We talked about eagle history at 18. Just watched it again in an Open. Just the second eagle at 18 at Pebble Beach in the National Championship. Caps off a nice day for Retief Hussain. Finishes at +8, round of 71, because he birdied the 17th as well. 3 under in the last 2 here, Johnny. Not bad.
That's great stuff. He was 3 over for the day going into 17.
Back over to 13.
And Ernie Els, a wonderful drive, Roger.
Split the center of the fairway now from 117 yards, 111 front. I would imagine you haven't seen a lot of balls on the front of this green short of the hole. Either you're short of the green or long, probably, huh?
Actually, if the ball lands 2 or 3 yards short of the surface, Roger, it does not get on the green. Not many balls close, of course. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Tiger missed it left, but he has the correct angle, Roger.
He sure has, and he's drawn a very good lie in this left rough. The rough supporting the ball, so not bad at all. 102 to the hole. Sand iron, this ball going right at the flagstick.
Wow. Is this really happening? Is this really happening?
Play some golf, young man. This is fun to watch.